Hi, I'm Diana Roberts, owner of Pier Brokers, Hermosa Beach. And today we are going to talk about buyers, where you meet buyers, what to do with buyers, and what makes a buyer a good buyer. So as a new agent, we've been asked many times, how I start my business and where my first transaction will come from. I believe most likely it's coming from a buyer. You can meet buyers through open houses. It's a perfect way to meet actual customers during an open house. Or you get a referral from a friend or neighbor or family, a friend who is looking for a home in your area. So most likely you're going to have a conversation during an open house with a customer about, it's going to start with the home where you are at, whether they like that home or what kind of home they are looking for. You're going to kind of start a dialogue, and if you feel that you have some sort of synergy between the two of you, you're most likely going to ask their contact information, and the next week, the following week, you're going to follow up with a phone call. So during this phone call, you kind of need to qualify the buyer, whether they are truly a buyer. To me, a buyer is somebody who is looking to buy real estate in your market within the next few months. They're ready to go as far as they have the financial wherewithal. They are qualified through a local lender, and they kind of know what they're looking for. Once you have this conversation with the buyer, then first thing is going to be to set up a face-to-face meeting. It's either going to be in your office or the first outing when you kind of show them the market, the different properties. Okay, if you're working with a cash buyer who has the cash to purchase real estate, you really need to kind of see, or they need to be ready to show their portfolio, where the money is coming from, and the money needs to be liquid cash. It cannot be a locked in, long-term investment, because if you take them out and they find a house which they really love, you need to make an offer. And once you make an offer, with the offer, the financial qualification has to come with the package. So they need to be able to ready to buy real estate.
When you have your first meeting with the people, should you meet at a coffee shop? Should you meet at their house, in their bedroom, at the dog park?
It has to be in your office or at the first outing when you're going to show them properties.
And why is that?
Because you don't want to waste your time. If somebody is motivated and they're ready to buy, there is no need to meet them at a coffee shop. Because the conversation is about, okay, so what kind of home are you looking for? Are you ready to buy? What is your timeline? And how much money you have to spend on real estate. Once you have these three things, you can take them out to show properties. Because once you see them face to face, you need to see their reaction. When you show the very first meeting, I always show a variety of properties. And I always go a little bit above their price range, because most likely 99% of the time people do spend actually more than what they say they want to spend. This is just kind of the nature of being, I guess, a human being. And so the first time we work in the beach cities, but each beach city is a little bit different. It has a little bit different vibe, a different kind of downtown, different kind of landscape, the setup of the town. Also, the school system is a little bit different. So you need to obviously ask what is really important for them, whether they want to have a single family or a townhome or a condo, they need a backyard, they have pets, they have kids, they want to walk. So you need to kind of know what roughly they're looking for. And once you take them out for the first time, which is a variety of homes, it's really not to find them the right house in the first time. It's about kind of getting to know each other, because you're also kind of interviewing them, because it's building a relationship. You're going to work with them in the next 30 to 90 days on a day in, day out basis. So you're building also a kind of a relationship, and most likely a friendship. And then once you're out and you see the reaction, what you show them, then you can kind of eliminate what they don't want. I'm always going by the process of elimination. Because once they know what they don't want, it's really easy to find what you want. So for instance, I just recently closed a transaction with somebody who was out of town, and they wanted to be really close to kind of a downtown, walking distance to downtown.
So that was their selection. They wanted downtown, they wanted by the beach, they wanted a townhome with ocean views. So they select.
Well, but the ocean view was kind of, the ocean view is a tricky thing, for instance, because it depends on the price range. You can have, a condominium in Redondo Beach with an ocean view under $1 million, but in Manhattan Beach with ocean view, it's more likely 3 to 5 million. So in the $2 million range, you're not gonna necessarily find something with an ocean view. So anyhow, in this case, they were able to spend in the $2 million range. So I showed them in the 2.3, 2.4, and they actually ended up buying it closer to 2.5. They were okay with a townhome, but I showed them a variety of kind of single family homes. Something is a little bit not as close to downtown, but they can get more for their money. I showed them properties in sand section of Hermosa Beach. I showed them even properties, just like one property in the first meeting in Redondo Beach. So I just wanted to make sure that I showed them the possibilities, because I don't want a client to come back to me or call me that, hey, I found a house in Redondo Beach, even though we started in Manhattan Beach, and I bought it. So the first meeting, again, you kind of show them your expertise and what's out there, so you know and they know what they don't want. And we kind of narrowed it down to really close, like a sand section, close vicinity to downtown Manhattan Beach.
Let's sorry to interrupt. Can you give us examples, in this case, how you eliminated the topics?
Yeah, we eliminated Redondo Beach. We essentially, they were kind of hesitant between Hermosa and Manhattan, but then the downtown, and then they were, I told them to please go out at night, in the morning, during the weekend, during the week, just to kind of feel the vibe of the neighborhood. And they eliminated Hermosa Beach. And then we were kind of focusing on Manhattan Beach, where properties are obviously very limited. So it was, I would say, a 2-3 months process. But after the first 2 meetings, when I kind of eliminated what they don't want, what happened is that we just met like once or twice a week, and we kind of seen what came on the market, because they've seen everything what was already on the market. And I made sure that these properties being seen during brokers' open houses, which is the best time to really kind of see the property the first time. And even if they went on a open house weekend themselves, I gave them a stack of business cards, and when they walk into a house, they said that I am their agent, and they're just kind of checking out the house. So I didn't have to worry that they're gonna buy the house on the spot without me. Yes, so once you build the relationship and you kind of feel that you have a rapport with these people, with your potential, buyer client, you need to ask the questions, am I your realtor? If you don't ask this question, you are kind of in a limbo, whether you don't know whether they really want to work with you or not, or what is their answer. And then they need to answer this question, because you kind of, ask question. And then you feel, their reaction. And if they're hesitant, then you need to ask that, okay, how can I make sure that you're gonna, buy with me and I am your realtor? And then you go on with that dialogue. But you need to ask these questions. It's a super important question to ask. And most, agents just kind of go with the flow. I mean, I don't sign contracts, buyer agreement contracts, because I think it's kind of, in today's world, it's just a very unusual thing to do. But I trust their trust in me, and it's kind of a mutual relationship.
What do you do when you think you have a good rapport, and they, for whatever reason, they buy a house with someone else? How do you react, and what do you do in the future?
Well, I asked them that what did I do wrong, and what could I do better for the next time somebody comes around. If you have the opportunity to even ask, because sometimes, well, unfortunately, it's just kind of human nature. They might not tell you the truth. They kind of sneak this information. You kind of find out the information behind their back. But if they tell you that, look, I bought something with somebody else this weekend, you're gonna need to ask, well, I'm very disappointed and I'm sorry, but I need to know what could I do better, and what could I have done better to be in your business.
How do you stay in contact to make sure?
Right, during the process, so until we find the property they want, I honestly follow up with them almost every day or every other day, especially when a new home comes on the market. I obviously live and breathe real estate. I know exactly what's going on the marketplace by the hour. So once a property comes on the market, what I think is the right fit, or they should definitely see it, I contact them immediately via email or text. Obviously, at the meeting, you're going to ask them what is the best way to communicate with you, what is the fastest, most active way to do it, whether it's a text, phone call, email. And again, during Brokers Open House, I meet them at the house and see the house together. I always want to see the house which comes to the market the first time with them.
Have new clients, you have a great rapport, you're laughing, you're staying entertained. How do you stay in contact and connect with them? So there's communicating. Do you go out and have dinner?
No, I don't go out have dinners and drinks with them because it's a professional relationship, and until honestly they do business with you, meaning actually they have a contract and you find them a house and you close a transaction. Yes, at the end I do go out with them and I invite them for dinner. But until then, I prefer not to, because I don't want to kind of lose the professional relationship with becoming kind of friends, or they don't know where to put me and I don't know where to put them. So I definitely keep my realtor professional hat on. And then hopefully it works out great. We have a fantastic transaction. I found them a great house. And the best feeling for me is when they invite me for dinner in their new house. And I know that I found that house for them, and it's just a fantastic, feeling, and a new relationship kind of continues, and our friendship continues. I mean, this is a great business, and this business you really do make friends, lifelong friends, and I just love, this is the part I love in this business, and that's what you're actually looking for, and you're looking in meeting other people to build relationships one at a time.
So in these relationships, what is the ultimate thank you can get from somebody?
A referral. So the best thing for me to get from a client when it's a successful transaction is that they refer me, their friends, their neighbor, their family. And this is how I build my business.
So the final step in all of this is you've met them, you've shown them properties, and now it's time to write an offer.
Yes, so once we found the house they love, yes, then we're gonna make an offer, and we're gonna talk about this topic next time. So check us out next week.